What's up, everybody? Here we go with another Ghosts on Film, taking a look at Beat Takeshi's weekly show. Starting out first, we've got some people who wander into an abandoned hospital, and right away they're scared out because what they see is some sort of floating head from what I can make out. They've slowed it down a little bit here for you, but unfortunately the camera work not so hot. That's usually what you tend to see is the shaky cam. Whether or not this is real, can't really say anything. It's pretty well done, even if it is fake, but obviously they could just have somebody lying down waiting to scare and just pop a head up. You can do this by closing two shoji doors and just bringing your head up quickly between both of them without any light in between, so pretty easy scare if you ask me. Moving on, I'm not out to debunk any of these. I just want to go ahead and show you my own theory on how they are done. Some construction crew working on tearing down a site, and apparently this is an apparition left behind by someone who had died in the house. And they're going to show it to you here by slowing it down a little bit. Look next to the land mover's kind of mouth-like device, and you'll see that's where the little ghost shows up. Again, just like a little head figure. This tends to be what you see quite a bit in Japanese ghost captured films or pictures, is a small floating head or some sort of semblance of a visage, and that tends to be the case here as well. And they're going to slow it down for you, show it to you again. If you look, you can see just someone peering out. Kind of see two glowing eyes too. And very slowly, there you go. And that's what you've got. And this tends to be in quite a few of these. Okay, here we've got once again a person inside of a car going down through a car parking machine, which is something pretty unique to Japan. I don't know if other countries have these, but it's like a giant conveyor belt for cars that goes up through a building that's only made for parking. So it's able to use one parking spot built straight up and then stack the cars on top of each other, if you're wondering how that works. And this one's really bad. I mean, you want to talk about photoshopped or green screened? This is bad. Yeah, look at that. They'll show it to you again, and it's pathetic. This is very obviously doctored video. I mean, why is the head that gigantic? And it doesn't even look very real or anything like that. If anyone wants to believe that's really a ghost, that's fine. But please give me some ample proof as to how. Here we've got the Kiku doll, and that is a scary little doll that was often given out by temples for people who had lost children. And now they're not so scary. They don't have that kind of history to them as much anymore. They're mostly just used as a cute toy. And you're going to see here some quick movement by the doll, which could easily be done by hitting some sort of button. But at the same time, they are getting a little kid to do this, and they're blurring out the face. So maybe they wouldn't put a kid through such trauma. I don't know. I mean, that seems a bit extreme. If they did, I hope the kid's in on it and thinks it's just a funny joke. Otherwise, that's pretty twisted. Watch the head spins really fast. And we're going to go ahead and moving on, seeing our next video after this head spins one more time really slow. Okay, we've got somebody looking at a closet or the inside of a hallway door here. I'm guessing it is a hallway. And this is a hallway to a apartment complex, and someone keeps knocking on their door. You're not hearing that because I took the audio off. It's just constant rat-tat-tat against the door. They quick go answer it, and when they come back, nobody's there until finally you see a quick shot of a floating hair ghost, as I tend to call them. And this is a pretty common figure in Japan. A lot of the ghosts have the hair over their face. You'll see it real quick when they dip back inside. And there it is. And take a look one more time. There you go. Okay, we've got someone chatting on a webcam here, and man, this one was bad. Obviously, horribly acted out. I don't have the Japanese playing right now because the voice has been altered, and it makes it really annoying and grating to listen to the high-pitched tone that they've altered this voice to. And pretty much there's a little bit of acting going on, and anybody who knows anything about acting, even in the slightest bit, knows how bad this is. And you can tell right away just from like the voice inflections that the person's obviously in on it. They know that they're recording something that later is going to be doctored. So this one I would put as false right away. I'm not even going to slightly humor this one with any kind of being real. It's pretty bad, and the face just so doctored onto the poster in the background. Here we'll see it one more time. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Can't get much more fake than that. Okay, this one is probably one of the most valid ones I've ever seen. Now it could be due to seismic activity or something like that, but it swings that once they're put totally still, start swinging by themselves. And I mean, they really go at it. It's beyond just like wind blowing them or some other some other natural event. More so, a supernatural event is most likely happening here. This is pretty believable. I mean, we're seeing the people walking in this video. We're seeing other aspects of the background that are not blowing as harshly. So this can't be some sort of strong wind. We see a tiny leaf go by, but that's about it. The middle one is blowing far harder than the other one, or I should say swinging far harder than the other ones. So this makes it pretty legit looking. I don't know quite how they would have doctored this. I mean, I guess there could be an off-camera string or something else, but it just seems like too much work to do and not a good enough return to go through the trouble of connecting a fishing wire to do such a thing. Here we go. A person is driving down and just barely misses someone. Okay, let's see what we have next. Moving on, we've got some pretty distorted video that once it's been slowed down a little bit, we can kind of see what's going on. A person opens the door and reveals a hallway. In this hallway we have some sort of crouching, sitting, or figure kneeling down. We can't really quite tell, but it's pretty creepy looking and looks pretty valid. It doesn't look too doctored. When they close the door and open it again, the person's moved at a rate of speed that seems unnatural because this has been slowed down, remember that. And they're right next to there. And the pose in which they have is pretty unnatural too. That the fact that there's almost zero movement. So that tends to lend itself. Now, of course, this could be anything from a mannequin to a figure to some sort of giant toy setup, or even a person themselves who's just doing a freeze frame on the person in the hallway. So we could easily say that this is fake, but at the same time, I have to say if it is fake, it's well done. Let's put it that way. Alright, we've got a video here, and what we've got is another situation where a very small shot of something in the background pops up, and you're going to see it here when he moves. There it is, face, and that is most likely a superimposed face. At some point, I think I'll do a video that shows how easy it is to do stuff like this, because I've played around a little bit with green screen, and it is so easy to add stuff like a face to videos like these, especially looking at this one. You see how it's like night vision? Adding green screen effects to the green night vision is super easy. Now this one's pretty good, most likely set up. Most likely something just pulled on a wire or a small invisible string, and it is a small toy bike in a bike parking lot, ridden by no one. But I would say the thing that makes it pretty good, if this is completely faked, is the fact that the pedals actually move around. Now, this might be one of the ones where it's pedal driven so that when you turn the wheel the pedals go, but if it's not, then they really put a lot of effort into this, and good for them. That's pretty cool. Sorry for the shaky cam on this one. I know it's pretty bad. One more time in slow motion. It's the same bike, slower. Oh my god. Like I said, it's pretty easy for them to fake this, especially the fact that you can just tie it easily around the handlebars and have no problem pulling it in. Okay, let's move on. What do we have next? Still going with the... Okay, this one really drags out, doesn't it? Oh my god. All right, let's move on to something else. It's a bike. That's great. All right. If I remember correctly, this one was a pretty good one. Oh yeah, now I remember. Okay, this is one where they're at the zoo and the dad is filming the kids, and he picks up a figure running across that was only seen by the camera and not people who were actually there. And if you'll look, it seems to be a distraught mother, but she has no head. Pretty creepy, if you ask me. Whoever did this, if this is doctored, it's really well done. You can see that the idols that are watching this are pretty freaked out. The Talento or Grabia idols who are watching this are pretty freaked out because it's pretty well done and it's pretty creepy. I've got to say, even I was, this is one of the ones that kind of gave me chills, and I don't really get chills too easy when I watch this stuff. Yeah, saw it very quickly, even though it's been slowed down. So one more time, a quick flash of a person running by. Catch it? Now look, no head. So well done, man. How did you take the head off and show the background and still make it look so grainy? Also, they found a little kid who's also a ghost there. Now, this is a really interesting little story. This is a guy who, every time he looks at people,
so for our
if
next
they're
video
going
here,
to
it is a
die
story
or
about a guy
attempt
who has a
suicide soon,
gift to see
they have a
imminent
black
death
floating cloud
within
around their
people's future
face.
by the visual of a black cloud floating around their head. And he talks about one of his most ingrained experiences of this, where he worked as a conductor, and he saw a passenger who was about to commit suicide at the tracks. He knew this because she had a black floating cloud around her head. He alerted the Eki managers, or station managers as you would say in English, and let them know that she was suspicious and possibly wishing to commit suicide. He didn't tell them because of the black floating cloud, but that was what told him that death was imminent, and so he advised them to watch her closely. Luckily for him, they did. They took his advice, and they were able to stop this poor woman from taking her own life. Pretty amazing tale, and it's kind of a skill or talent or gift, or some may say curse, that I'm kind of on the fence about whether or not I believe this. My own son has kind of a strange, I don't know, power or sixth sense that you would say. With our own fish in our fish tank, I guess this is on a smaller scale, but he points to them and lets us know when they're sick and gonna die, and there's nothing about them that looks sick or weak or frail. And sure enough, the ones he points to and says this die. Now, how or why someone's able to do this is unknown to me. I have no professional certificate that lets me have any kind of theory or background that can be taken professionally. So this is just my own theory that maybe people do have this sixth sense, and how it works is beyond me. If you yourself have any kind of background or history or your own power like this, please comment below, let me know, or contact me personally and tell me about your story. I'd love to hear it. This guy who talks about having this sixth sense first talks about the fact that he realized he had it when he was very young, and he was in school, and a teacher that was at his school had the black floating cloud around her face, and he told her, I think you're going to die, and was punished because of this. And everyone else was like, you're crazy. Why would you say that to her? She's healthy. She's pregnant. She's going to have a kid soon. She looks great. And a few weeks later, she fell downstairs at the school and died. And it's pretty tragic. But that's when he first realized he had this very strange and maybe one would say a very powerful gift. I'm going to just go ahead and let that part play out here and show that to you.
last group of photos here, or I should say videos here, capture some very kind of questionable ghosts on camera, and I'm just going to be honest with you and say this one here where they capture something in the elevator looks totally goofy. I don't know why anybody thinks this would be real. There's a woman floating in the background or standing, but I mean, she could just be like a mannequin or something they were shipping, or easily photoshopped into the background. Not really too scary. Take a look at this again. I think it's kind of odd how she's not moving at all, but definitely there's a possibility that she's a mannequin. I mean, her stance is too straight upright. The hair looks perfect. There's little to no facial features. Either that or maybe she's a female Slender Man. I guess Slender Woman, if I'm going to be grammatically correct. So one more time, take a look behind this guy. Look into the elevator as it opens. Woman in a red dress, it appears. I think they made a song about it. And this is another one with a webcam actor who is horrible. I mean, if you could hear the Japanese, again, I've taken it off because there's been this high tone added to it, so the sound and identity is distorted, which I don't know why they're so worried about hiding all this stuff if they've gonna put it on the internet or on TV. She's a horrible actor, and this is obviously super fake. Even my wife commented on how bad her acting was in this webcam chat. Again, it's something showing up in the background. A little hand comes onto her shoulder, and I mean, how easy is it to just have someone sit behind her and put a hand across her shoulder? Not very difficult. One thing I don't understand is why is it in black and white, unless they added that feature later or this has been edited afterwards. But look, definitely just somebody sitting behind her. Come on, really? Oh, and then she disappears. She's gone. So easy to edit video this way. I've got to do a whole episode sometime on just editing and how you can just do these little tricks with even the most simple and bare bones editing tools. Alright, here's one here out in the snow. Most likely this is Hokkaido, Japan, if it's this snowy. And they see a tiny face in here. I can barely make it out. I remember thinking, I can't even tell if this is like an angry face or a ghost face or just like the snow happens to be settled in a way that appears to look like a face. Yeah, did you see that? Here, they're going to show it again. It doesn't really look too scary. Take a look. And it's a really weird face. Like, is it like looks like somebody from Baby Metal's Mask or something, like Megatsune. I don't know what the heck that's supposed to be. Definitely photoshopped in. The shadowing behind it is too fake. Come on. At least give it the college try. And, oh, here's one. We've seen this one before, I think. I've had this in a video from the past. So you're going to see some of these videos get recycled. They're used in multiple shows. I guess they start to run out of things to talk about, and they use them again. Here they're messing around with their lighters, trying to do a lighter trick, and that's when you notice the ghost. That's when you see something happen, and it's a small hand. It pops up, and see it. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that Ghosts on Film. Until next time, I'm Unrested, and this has been another Osoroshii Saturday.